Early fall, September, late September, 25th.
May I be of assistance, sir?
Please. I know the 2013 Bitcoin, but the rest, I really need something well balanced.
Very good, sir. May I suggest a blend?
Crypto doesn't have to be overwhelming.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Wonderful. I'll bring that over.
Great choice.
Ask your financial advisor about Bitwise, the world's leader in crypto index funds.
Hello and welcome all the Web3 enthusiasts. It's Max speaking. We continue the series of interviews at Synopsis Talks. Today I'm excited to host an interview with a whale of the industry. We have invited Juan Leon, the senior strategist at Bitwise. So hopefully today's discussion will be hot and pretty insightful for everyone, be it a newbie, be it a skillful investor. So let's get straight to the action and get our interview going. And the first and traditional and one of the most important questions is, Juan, how are you today?
Hey, Max. It's great to be with you. I am doing really well. It's been a great week, and I'm excited to be here with you today.
Perfect. Let's continue making this week great. And we have a lot of questions prepared for today. So let's just start from the very beginning. And this one will be about ETFs, of course, since you're an expert and it's your field. So the talks about large scale crypto adoption have been going since 2018. And fast forward to 2024, we only have Bitcoin ETFs. Ethereum ETFs are pending, and there are no altcoin ETFs except some rumors around Solana. So the question is, are the traditional financial market and the cryptocurrency market ready for crypto ETFs, or should such ETFs be postponed until crypto market reaches at least $10 trillion?
That is a fantastic question. There's a couple of ways, I think, to look at this that I think are helpful. One way is that Bitcoin ETFs have actually been approved. They were just approved this year in the US, but they have existed outside the US since 2019. For example, in Europe, there has been a spot Bitcoin ETF trading since 2019. So from the perspective of capital markets development, it is true that the US is maybe 5 years behind the curve from other jurisdictions. Now, another way to look at it is, for example, when you look at the gold market, when GLD, the first gold ETF, was approved in the US in 2004, gold's market cap was around $1 billion. And this year, when Bitcoin ETFs launched in the US in January, Bitcoin's market cap was around 900 million. So very close to that 1 billion as well. So I would say that the markets are definitely ready for Bitcoin ETFs and for more crypto ETFs. I don't think we have to wait till it is a $10 trillion market. It was a $1 trillion market with gold when they launched. And similarly, when Bitcoin ETFs launched in the US this year, Bitcoin's market cap was around 1 trillion. So there's a similarity there. And outside of the US, Bitcoin ETFs have already been trading. So I think the markets are ready. It's a growing asset class that is growing in usage and adoption. And I think the world is ready for them. Now, it is true what you said, that the talks about adoption have been going on for years, and people maybe have expected faster adoption. But I think when you look at it, consumer usage and adoption of blockchains and crypto has been growing for years now. You look at the metrics from active wallet addresses, from transaction count, from volume on exchanges, and volume on chain. All of these metrics show fundamental progress over the last couple of years. What has taken longer is regulation. And that's because crypto is a new technology. It is revolutionary and disruptive, and that it has to be adapted to the existing financial system. And so regulators have moved much slower. MiCA was just passed last year in Europe. We still need comprehensive regulation in the US. A comprehensive regulatory bill, FIT 21, was passed in the US House this year, but still needs to go through the Senate and become law. So regulation is taking time. While consumer adoption is continuing to progress. So I think all in all, the market is ready for more.
Well, thank you. So I feel so much confidence in your words when you say that the markets are ready, and it's really encouraging. And yeah, that's true that people are always looking to get the things done faster and faster, but it's a human nature. You cannot do anything with this, but I believe that everything is going pretty fast. Also, we're in a very young emerging industry. If we speak about Web3, so let's see how the nearest future will show itself. And speaking about the regulation, we would like to know your opinion on how should crypto as a class be regarded and regulated? Is it a commodity, a security, or anything totally different?
Yeah, that's a question we get often, and because of the lack of regulatory clarity, there's people are unsure about how it should be categorized. The reality is that it can't be a one size fits all, because crypto tokens vary widely in their construction and their intended use. But what we need is a clear regulatory framework that allows for the differentiation between different crypto tokens. Some should be deemed commodities. Bitcoin and Ethereum are, I think, there's a consensus that they should be deemed commodities. There's many other tokens that it's unclear, and many that should be categorized as securities. But everything in this asset class is new. And so what we really need is comprehensive regulation to establish parameters for all the different existing players in the industry. It's a whole new industry. There's crypto exchanges, there's miners, there's lenders, there's stable coins. We need regulation for everything. This is a new industry, and by virtue of the decentralized nature, it doesn't necessarily fit the traditional regulatory mold that has historically we've been operating in. So we need to adapt the rules to encourage innovation while also safeguarding consumers. So I think we're getting there little by little. MiCA, as I said, is a great step forward in clarity. In the US, we're getting there, and I think we will get to a point where that differentiation within different tokens will happen, and we'll have clarity to be able to operate within the norms that allow for continued innovation.
Thank you. So yeah, it's a very good idea, and it's that trying to fit the existing crypto market for the old standards is not maybe something necessary, but we need to adapt. And so for years we see how it's been tried to standardize crypto with the existing standards, but however, some new adoption and steps forward are essential also. So let me ask you the question about which audience stratum is the most interested in crypto ETFs right now?
That is a great question. Well, what we saw is in the US, what you have this thing where institutional investors that manage over $100 million have to make filings every quarter. These are called the 13F filings. And so there you can see what their holdings were as of the end of the quarter. So the most recent 13Fs that we have for institutional investors are as of the end of March of this year. And what we saw there is that the biggest holders of Bitcoin ETFs, that was just 2 months after their launch, were hedge funds, investment advisors, and generally retail investors. So those were the first adopters of Bitcoin ETFs, and the ones that invested the most in the first 2 months. But we're now seeing a lot of attention from, broadening out from that. We're starting to see attention from private equity and VCs, from pension funds, from family offices, from banks and endowments. So the window of investors is opening. But that's who those 3 types of investors: hedge funds, investment advisors, so RIAs, registered investment advisors, and retail investors were the first adopters of Bitcoin ETFs.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Let's talk about Bitwise actually a bit more. And the first question is, what is the biggest innovation that has helped Bitwise the most so far?
Well, first and foremost, it definitely has to be the creation of Bitcoin. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here at all.
Yeah.
But second, Bitwise being an asset manager, a crypto specialist asset manager, so we focus on crypto. The holy grail for us from the inception has been the Bitcoin ETF. So Bitwise was founded in 2017, and from that very first beginning, we were aiming for a Bitcoin ETF in the US. We had to start with private funds and other types of vehicles before the ETF was approved. But we've always been aiming for the Bitcoin ETF. So that is definitely the innovation that has helped us the most with the launch of Bitcoin ETFs. We've been fortunate to do really well. And our ETF now has over 2.5 billion in assets under management. And Bitcoin ETFs as a category have been the fastest growing of all time, of all ETF history in the US. So it's been a great success for us and for the industry, and it's really propelled us forward immensely.
Perfect. So we'll touch this topic also a little bit later. And beside the company, beside the Bitwise and the team and the products, I would like to know a bit more about your audience. And could you tell us who is an average Bitwise user? How has this portrait changed since 5 years ago? Or
yes. So Bitwise was set up to be a bridge between for capital markets and investment between the crypto industry and traditional finance. So we were set up to, and what we've done is we've built a suite of investment products that allow traditional investors who want to access the opportunities in crypto to do so however suits them best. Some investors prefer ETFs, some investors prefer a private fund, some investors prefer a single token fund, some investors prefer an index fund. So we've created the suite of all those products. The index, our flagship fund is an index fund that is akin to the S&P 500, but for crypto tokens. And so we've primarily been known as an index crypto asset manager, and we're now evolving beyond that. But we've been set up from the get-go to serve primarily investment advisors and institutional investors, such as family offices, pension funds, endowments, hedge funds, and the like. So that was the audience that we have traditionally primarily served and continue to do so. But now with the advent of Bitcoin ETFs, we are also serving more retail investors than in the past. That the ETF wrapper really opens up the investor base beyond the accredited investors that were the types of investors that we were primarily serving beforehand, because there were no ETFs available in the market. So now we are really set up to serve any type of investor that wants to invest with us. And we are very happy and proud to be able to serve them and help guide them in finding and taking advantage of the opportunities in this exciting asset class.
Well, thank you. So that sounds like a great contribution for the mass adoption and actually for the entire financial industry. So I do respect all the projects who set their goal as bridging both worlds, be it Web3 and the real world assets, or be it some bridges in between the chains or whatever. So connecting everyone and creating new products which are comfortable for everyone to use. It's a really great goal, and yeah, my respect for this. So let's talk about the crypto ETFs. Continue talking about crypto ETFs, and please tell us what are your actually competitive advantages compared to other companies offering crypto ETFs.
Yeah, love that question. Well, one of the main advantages is that at Bitwise, we are crypto specialists. Our firm is now going on 7 years of managing crypto assets on behalf of professional investors. And we do one thing only, and that is crypto. Our products are backed by a 60+ person team that exists to answer our clients' questions about crypto 24/7, 365 days a year. And we have a nationwide distribution team of people that are in all of the geographies in the US that can meet with you in person, or we can meet virtually. And we have investor relations, capital markets, technical teams, research teams, all with deep expertise in crypto. So while some other asset managers may have 1,000 different types of investments to cover and focus on, they manage traditional stocks, bonds, commodities, private equity, etc. We only focus on crypto, and we have deep expertise in that. And in an asset class that is so fast moving, so dynamic, and ever changing as crypto is, being able to keep up with the developments in the market really necessitates that deep expertise that Bitwise has. The other thing I think that sets us apart is that we produce groundbreaking original research and education. An example of that is our CIO, Matt Hogan, co-authored the CFA Institute's Guide to Crypto. And we consistently do webinars. We put out white papers. We put out memos and newsletters that are available to the public, with the aim of educating our investors and interested parties so that they can learn about the market, keep up with the market, and be more informed. So our expertise and our education and groundbreaking research, I think, are things that really set us apart as an expert in this dynamic space.
Well, get it. Thank you. So the next question, so you are the very right person to ask it, since you are the senior investment strategist. So it will be super valuable for, I think, everyone, not even only Bitwise users, but for any traders and investors. So could you make a sneak peek of Bitwise investment strategies, and how do you adapt them to the changing market conditions?
Yes, absolutely. Well, our investment strategy methodologies incorporate a number of factors that make them adaptable to this evolving space. So for one, we use, in most of our strategies, we incorporate monthly rebalancing in order to dynamically capture the market. In some other strategies, it's quarterly, but we try to, in the studies that we've done, it's shown that, especially with a high volatility asset class like crypto is, a disciplined rebalancing strategy helps you capture gains and mitigate losses. And so we incorporate rebalancing, disciplined rebalancing in our strategies. We also screen out for specific risks. We analyze the regulatory risk of the tokens. We analyze the custodian risk, the liquidity risk, technical and token economic risk. And that has helped us in our funds avoid things like Luna, like FTX, which we never held in any of our funds. And that is a combination of, our technical and research teams, our compliance and legal teams, all bringing in the crypto expertise I've been talking about into our strategies, so that they are robust strategies that are not just picking on predetermined factors, but that have a lens, multiple lenses and layers of due diligence in order to screen out risks. So we try to do that very effectively, and it served us well. And so far, it's been a great way of capturing the opportunities in the market.
Well, so it's a very complex approach, and a very wise one, actually, a bit wise. So now I see where the name comes from. Thank you. And the next question is actually, what is the next large-scale event or shift in the cryptocurrency market the Bitwise is looking forward to the most?
Yeah, well, there are many things happening in the crypto markets all of the time. I think the two big things that we are looking forward to at Bitwise are, one, the launch of Ethereum ETFs, spot ETFs here in the US. They have been approved by the SEC, but launch has not happened yet. So we are awaiting that eagerly and hope and believe it'll happen soon. And that is going to be very important because, as with Bitcoin, something we like to say at Bitwise is that the approval of Bitcoin ETFs in the US was Bitcoin's IPO moment. The reason for that is that prior to the approval of Bitcoin ETFs in the US, the US wealth market is divided into three categories. 20% is retail directed, so retail investors, kind of self-directed investing. And the other 80% is institutional and financial advisors that control 80% of the wealth in America. And that 80% was effectively shut out from investing in Bitcoin before the ETFs because of the fiduciary duty of being a money manager. It's very difficult to get your investment committee and compliance department to allow you to invest in Bitcoin directly. Whereas with the ETF wrapper, you're able to invest in a fund that has all of the custody and regulatory protections of the 1933, 1940 Acts in the US. And so the approval of Bitcoin ETFs really opened up the institutional market to Bitcoin, that 80% of the wealth in America, for really the first time. And so that's why we called the IPO moment when Bitcoin ETFs were approved. And so we're very excited that now Ethereum ETFs are going to have their IPO moment when they launch. And so Ethereum is going to have that opportunity to start becoming institutionalized. So we're very excited about that, the launch of Ethereum ETFs. And then we're also really excited about, as we've been talking about, the importance of regulation and regulatory progress for the asset class and for innovation to continue happening. So we're very excited by what we've seen this year in the US in terms of regulatory progress. We saw the passage, as I mentioned, of the FIT 21 bill, which is a comprehensive regulatory bill, pass in the House, and now it will move on to the Senate. We also saw a narrower bill focused on stablecoins that is also moving through Congress. And we've seen other regulatory developments in terms of bills that we're excited about. And more important than anything, as you probably know, the U.S. Has been the Biden administration under and the SEC under Gensler has really put an uphill battle for crypto over the last couple of years. It's been a grind upward with continuous enforcement actions by the SEC and a lack of regulatory guidance and clarity in terms of clarifying rules. But this year, we've started to see a change in Congress where it was primarily senators and congressmen from the Republican Party that were pro-crypto in the last couple of years. Now we've seen an emerging bipartisan coalition that includes Democratic congressmen. That's what has allowed these bills to start moving through Congress effectively. And so this bipartisan coalition, we think, is here to stay, and it's a sea change in the political landscape for crypto in the US. And we're excited about next year what will happen, independent of which administration gets elected. Of course, Trump has been very vocal in endorsing crypto. And so there's a lot of excitement for Trump in that regard. But independent of which candidate gets picked and which party ends up in power, we think the momentum in Congress is strong. And so we think next year we'll see some regulatory bills become law. And so I think that would be huge for the industry. The US being the biggest financial hub in the world, having a clear regulatory framework, I think, will propel the industry forward massively and more than ever before. And we think it can finally happen next year. We're seeing all of the developments trend that way. So Ethereum ETFs and regulatory clarity are two big developments that we are looking forward to and excited by.
Okay, so I do hope that actually the next year the regulatory issues will be if not solved, but there will be a massive shift. So yeah, guys, looking forward to see what happens next year. You see, it's going to be big for both worlds. And since we're talking about forecasts and expectation, in your opinion, what will be the crypto ETF landscape in like 10 or even 5 to 10 years in the future?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot to come. As we've seen, crypto, Bitcoin is just about 15 years old. And Ethereum and many of the rest of the tokens are even younger. And in those 15 years, in terms of adoption and embedding crypto into the economy and financial markets, we've seen ETFs and investment vehicles pop up around the world. Most recently, as we've been talking about, in the approval of Bitcoin ETFs here in the US. So some progress has happened, but it's still very early and nascent. And so I think if you look out over the next 5 to 10 years, I think the progress will only accelerate. And so I think looking out, I expect the crypto market the crypto ETF landscape to look a lot more like traditional markets. And so what does that look like? I think there will be spot ETFs for various tokens. Bitcoin, we have it. Now comes Ethereum. Next will probably be Solana and beyond. We'll have index ETFs. So as I mentioned, our flagship fund is an index ETF, but it is in an OTC traded vehicle. Because not all of the tokens that are in the fund have been approved for the ETF wrapper. So I think as more tokens become approved, then we'll be able to create index ETFs for people to invest in a way that doesn't force them to pick a winner, but that allows them to capture what indexes do best, which is capture the winners over time. I think there will be smart beta ETFs for crypto. So crypto ETFs that select the tokens not based just on traditional market cap, but on other fundamental metrics such as revenue growth or usage or the TVL, total value locked, or other metrics within the crypto sphere that are important. And then there'll be, I think, thematic ETFs. So ETFs that invest only in tokens that are involved in tokenization. So the tokenization of real world asset tokens, in decentralized AI tokens, in crypto gaming tokens. I think there'll be thematic ETFs like that as well. So I think we'll have a whole menu of different types of ETF vehicles centered around more coins, indexed approaches, smart beta approaches, and thematic ETFs. For crypto. And I think that will broaden out the landscape and allow investors to have wide access to different types of strategies and different types of focus on different types of the market.
So many great things to come. And you are drawing a picture of a very bright future, and I'm really excited. And what I'm looking forward is, this index ETFs, which is, as you said, you don't have to pick the winner, and this is what I actually like. Well, that's amazing, and I would say a pretty encouraging interview we have here today. And for all the prepared questions for today, that's it. But I just feel that it's only the top of an iceberg, and there is so much more to be discussed. I believe that there might be even a separate dedicated interview about just the regulation and so many other things. So hopefully we'll talk about it in the upcoming episodes. And before we finish for today, the last traditional question from Synopsis, which is super valuable for our audience, especially I would say for the newbies, but also for the pioneers of the industry as well. So could you give some piece of advice for our viewers who are getting involved in this industry, who are trying to invest, doing their first steps, how to get the most out of getting on board?
Yeah, that is such a great question. I think there's a couple of important things for people to think about. One is that this is a fast evolving industry. So I think continuing to learn and doing due diligence is paramount. I think informed investors always have a better chance of success. So continuing to learn is really important. In that regard, I invite your audience to come to check us out at Bitwise. Our website is bitwiseinvestments.com. And there you can find a ton of our materials. You can sign up for our webinars. You can sign up for our newsletters. It's all free. We don't charge for it. And that can help you learn and stay informed. I think, as I said, crypto is a new asset class that is constantly evolving. So I think investing with a trusted and expert partner will do you well. I think for most investors, both in crypto and outside of crypto, indexing is probably the best approach for most. If you don't have the time to keep up with the investment markets, and it's not what you do full time, then picking winners has tended to be a fool's errand, and an index approach has worked better for most investors over time. And the last thing I'll say that is especially true for crypto because it's so volatile. There's so many news. The prices move wildly. Crypto's opportunity will play out over years and decades, not days and months. So I think investing with a mindset for the long term and tuning out the short-term price distractions will do you really well. The more you check the day-to-day and become anxious about that and maybe sell at the wrong time, that is a recipe for disaster. I think doing due diligence learning and then making an informed investment with a mindset that that you have a horizon over a few years and sticking to that plan, I think is a better way to capture the opportunity in the space.
Yeah, thank you very much. You covered all of my top beloved advices. So guys, keep learning. Juan just told you where to get the best information. Visit Bitwise and subscribe to all the available information. It's a high quality one, and keep patience and follow the risk strategy, and that's
Max,
it. We'll be happy.
Yeah, this has been fantastic, Max. Thank you so much. Would love to continue collaborating. For your audience too, you can follow me as well on LinkedIn, Juan Leon, or on Twitter, Juan Leon as well, or my handle is Singularity7x. And you can follow me. I provide a lot of insights into the market there too. But this has been great. Great session. Thank you for all the wonderful questions.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining in. We'll put all the necessary links to follow in the description. So guys, please check it out. And thanks for everyone who is tuned in, who watched us till the end. Have a great day, night, whatever. You're watching us worldwide, and we appreciate it. See you in the next episodes. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Ethereum.
And I'm Big Finance.
You okay? You look really tired.
Just calling it a day.
But it's 4 p.m.
Yeah, and I've been working nonstop since 9:30 this morning, so.
9:30? You don't say.
Yep. You'd want a little shut-eye too if you've been moving billions around the world.
Well, actually I do. You know, stablecoins, NFTs, loans. People can access me 24/7.
What?
But look, everyone's different. You should get your rest. You've had a long day.
Well, I have, haven't I?
Definitely. You'll get after it tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
Monday.